Good evening there, everybody. What is happening? Hopefully, y'all are having a wonderful day today. So, I've recently released some videos about Deontay Wilder. And if you've released videos about Deontay Wilder in this recent upcoming time this year, you're going to get a lot of attention. And the reason why that is, not only did Deontay Wilder suffer his first defeat, but there's been this huge alleged controversy about if Deontay Wilder ended up getting cheated by Tyson Fury in the rematch, because according to all the LDBC members, all the new media members, the Deontay Wilder fans, Deontay Wilder was so badly cheating, and how, oh my God, how did we not see this evidence before? Tyson Fury has been cheating for his whole entire career. It's very funny. Apparently all these things have been happening. Apparently Tyson Fury has been taking padding out of the gloves. He's been putting egg weights in there. He's been What else has he been doing? Oh yeah, he's been putting his hand lower into the glove overall so he can hit with his knuckles on the bottom part of the glove. His thumb isn't even all the way in there. Apparently he's been doing all these things, and god damn it, it took us so goddamn long to realize all this. I mean, shit. These people didn't even realize it until something was pointed out. Now, do I believe Tyson Fury is a cheater? No, I do not. I believe all these allegations are false 100%. It is what it is now. There was one time where Tyson Fury overall was alleged to be on steroids. Now, that possibly could be somewhat of the truth. I'm not sure. I'd have to do more research on that. All I know is that this goddamn glove conspiracy is a goddamn hoax. It is what it is. But we're going to get an opinion of one of the LDBC / new media members. I believe this dude's channel is Fannon International Boxing Channel, something like that. Anyway, he's going to be talking about it, because apparently there's new evidence and new proof coming out about this every day. So let's just see what he has to say.
All right, welcome back to the channel. So Tyson Fury finally denies cheating allegations and says that he's never done anything that bad, in a boxing ring. However, it wasn't to Deontay Wilder that he was talking, it was to someone else, and even then, at least he admits that he was really worried about Deontay Wilder's power. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. So, in case you guys didn't know, this subject matter, this video will certainly prove it, that Tyson Fury's name is now synonymous with cheating. That is what he's known for. That is the first thing that comes out of people's mouths when they think about Tyson Fury. Did you cheat? How did he cheat? Why those gloves?
Well, not really. The only people overall that think Tyson Fury is synonymous with cheating is, let's be real, the pro-blacks, the LDBC members, the Deontay Wilder fanboys, the new media members. Those are really the only ones, including this guy, that believe that Tyson Fury actually cheated. And once again, isn't it so funny? Tyson Fury apparently has hundreds of cheating tactics that now have been revealed, but they never were noticed before until Deontay Wilder got his ass whooped. Isn't that peculiar? Anyway.
Bending like that. All of those type of things, other than, the usual media people that are just trying to, keep the Tyson Fury boat afloat. But my man, the Watcher, shout out to the Watcher, man. Go check out his channel, man. He does really great work. Sent me a video this morning.
Oh, the Watcher. I had the Watcher actually comment on one of my videos. You mean the same guy that was trying to convince me of Deontay Wilder having a better resume than Anthony Joshua? Yeah, that dude don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I met that guy. Anyway.
And it was new, just came out yesterday, and it came from a website, something called Don't Bottle It Up. And I think Don't Bottle It Up, if that's the name of it, is some type of water product, right? Like some rehydration drink or something like that Tyson Fury must be sponsoring. But in the middle of...
Oh, are they alleging that Tyson Fury used illegal drugs in the corner? Or they drugged Deontay Wilder? Let's see.
This conversation, They asked Tyson, the first question they asked Tyson Fury is, what is the worst thing that you have ever done in a boxing ring? And then Tyson Fury says, well, man, I'm telling you, you cannot make this up. Tyson Fury is just such a liar. Tyson Fury said, well, I don't really ever think I've ever done anything that bad in a boxing ring. But, one time I was fighting Vladimir Klitschko, and Vladimir Klitschko swept his head across my eyes like a headbutt. And I looked at the ref like, ref, he headbutted me. And then they didn't do anything, so I just went on ahead and kept fighting.
Oh, man. That sounds like 100% evidence right there that Tyson Fury cheated. Man, case closed. Like, are you fucking serious? Anyway, man.
Tyson Fury said that the worst cheating he has seen in a boxing ring wasn't himself. It was a headbutt from Vladimir Klitschko.
And I had some of these idiots trying to tell me overall, well, you know what? It wasn't even the gloves that I was worried about. Tyson Fury, he was hitting Deontay Wilder behind the head. He was hitting him behind the head, and overall he was, bringing him down. Listen, man, none of the shit that Tyson Fury did in the rematch was illegal. Since when is it illegal to clinch with someone and wear them down? That's not illegal at all. That's the same shit that Evander Holyfield did with Mike Tyson. Now, of course, you have a lot of people that allege that Evander was dirty. Now, do I believe that he's a little bit dirty with his head? Sure. But it is what it is. When it comes down to the overall bottom line is this. When it comes down to it, I didn't see anything overly dirty from Tyson Fury. Now, there's such a thing called dirty boxing where, you get on the inside and, you kind of rough him up a little bit. Do what Andre Ward did. Do what, some of the other people do. Floyd Mayweather. Take advantage of them inside the clinch. And that's what Tyson Fury did. And you got to do that with a fighter like Deontay Wilder, because Wilder does it, that pisses him off. He's a very emotional fighter. He's a very emotional person. And that shows up in the fight. So the more you tie him up, the more he's going to have less answers. So.
Tyson Fury, in one video, just with the Steve Cunningham fight, you see him doing the following things to Tyson Fury, to Steve Cunningham. Guillotine chokes. That is catching somebody's head underneath your arm, right? Head is here.
Oh shit, guillotine chokes, ladies and gentlemen. Guillotine chokes is what they're alleged right now. You know how many fighters I've seen do that? You know how many times I've seen Floyd Mayweather Jr. do that to an opponent? You know how many times I've seen no one mention that whatsoever? You remember when Marcos Maidana allegedly bit Floyd Mayweather's thumb or whatever? When he had his hand muffled across Maidana's face? How many of these LDBC, PBC, new media members would mention that? They're not going to mention any of it, Amir Khan is another one who does that a lot. If you watch his fights and a certain amount of other fighters, that's not illegal, man. That's not illegal.
Then your forearm goes across the base of their throat and you pull up in the middle, right? So Tyson Fury.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, he was choking out Steve Cunningham and Deontay Wilder too. Yeah, his. This shit is so ridiculous, man. I had one of these idiots try to explain to me the other day, overall, that, he was doing this to Deontay Wilder the whole night. Like, no offense, dude. You really have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Anyway.
Shoots a shot past your head. He then wraps his hand down and around your throat, lifts up, and then punches you right in the... He lifts you with this side, and while he's lifting you up, he's punching you in the he's punching you in the lungs. So he's literally like yanking up on your throat and your body and your upper body, and he's hitting you in the lungs at the same time. You see him do that to Deontay Wilder 10 and 12, 13 times. You see him do that to Steve Cunningham maybe.
Oh no, yeah, he was fucking Habib Nurmagomedov. He was Habib and Deontay Wilder in that, man. Do you hear this guy right now, man? Oh my God. Anyway.
5 or 6 times in a round or two after he gets knocked down. But that's not it. That
You know what that fight reminded me a lot of in the Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder rematch with those tactics. It reminded me a lot of Evander Holyfield versus Mike Tyson 1. You know, a lot of people overall allege that Evander Holyfield was dirty, but I mean, there might have been a couple headbutts here and there, but I don't really think Evander was trying to be dirty. The thing is just that he was going in there, he was tying Mike Tyson up. Now he wasn't really, getting him in the headlock a little bit like Fury was to Wilder, although that's not necessarily illegal. He didn't do anything too bad with that. But when it comes down to the overall bottom line is this. That's what that fight reminded me of. And that's the thing Tyson Fury needed to do. He needed to tie Deontay Wilder up. He needed to maneuver his body. And Kenny Bayless is a good referee. If Kenny Bayless thought that it was anywhere out of bounds, he would have taken a point away, or overall, he would have said something about it. It's the referee's job to split them up when and like that. And Kenny Bayless usually did that very well. But anyway.
headbutts, plenty headbutts that you can see from Tyson Fury against.
Oh, the headbutts. Headbutts. Anyway.
Against Steve Cunningham, clearly putting his head clearly up against the other man's head and moving his head like this. You see that with Steve Cunningham. Elbows to the throat with Steve Cunningham. Straight elbows to the throat. He gets too close. He puts his his forearm right here.
Now that might be classified as illegal. I'd have to look at the rules of boxing when it comes down to the overall. I have seen boxers do that before. What I will say is this: that is a little bit dirty, but that's not that's not necessarily something that you call someone for a cheater. Adrian Broner is a person overall who actually uses that tactic a lot. Now that is a little bit of a dirty move, and I believe that's what he used to set up the knockout blow to Steve Cunningham. But when it comes down to the overall, some people do manipulate the rules. To me, is it really that big of a deal? Not really. It is what it is. Is that enough to say, like, oh my God, he's such a cheater. He's just, his whole reputation is ruined? No. It is what it is. But you got these morons out here. Anyways, let's continue.
Forearm right here and pushes up. Is that boxing? But you see it for sure in Steve Cunningham in the video with just.
Now, you want to know another fighter, actually, who did something a little bit dirtier? Mike Tyson, who's one of my favorite fighters. He used to actually elbow people in the face. like when he would sometimes throw hooks, and sometimes I think they're on accident, sometimes I think they're on purpose. When he used to throw hooks, he used to elbow people right in the face. Like when he punched Larry Holmes in the face, he broke his nose, but that could have been from a punch, that could have been from an elbow, because he hit Larry with a couple of elbows. So, it is what it is.
Steve Cunningham. Eddie Cotton has said, now this just the otherworldliness of the denial from Tyson Fury. This is a Tyson Fury that got points taken away from him by Kenny Bayless for all of the things that I mentioned. Now,
yeah, he got 1 point taken away, and to be quite honest with you, I thought Kenny Bayless was somewhat favoring Deontay Wilder, because both of them here and there were throwing rapid punches, and both of them were somewhat throwing, and that's really what he took points away for throwing after he said stop, because both of them were roughing each other up inside the clinch. When Kenny Bayless would say stop. And you can go ahead and watch my review of that fight, where I break down the whole fight. And we see Deontay Wilder multiple times punch after Kenny Bayless says stop, and there's no points taken away from Deontay Wilder. But he takes one away from Fury. In my opinion, Kenny Bayless seemed to be, if on anyone's side, a little bit more on Deontay Wilder's side. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to allege that 100%. I do think that Kenny Bayless was just trying to do the better job, but if the referee was on anybody's side, it actually wasn't Fury's, it was Wilder's. But it is what it is.
Did Kenny Bayless punish him or give him, early in the fight? No. He let him get away with it 12, 13 times before he took a point away. But he even put...
Wait, hold on.
Let's punish him or give him, early in the fight? No. He let him get away with it 12, 13 times before he took a point away. But he even pushed Kenny Bayless' reluctant self all the way to taking a point with that.
Kenny Bayless is not reluctant to take a point at all. And if you know Kenny Bayless, you know that a lot about Kenny Bayless. Kenny Bayless is not reluctant to take a point at all. Now, I'm not saying he's quick to take a point away, but he will take a point away if he needs to. All right? So this is what it is. Like Maidana, he pushed down Floyd Mayweather Jr. in that fight, and he in the rematch, and he took a point away for that. So he is not reluctant to take a point away. You know who's reluctant to take a point away is Tony Weeks. That's a person who's reluctant to take a point away. And I'm not just talking about the, in my opinion, a little bit low punches from Andre Ward. Do you remember that first Mayweather fight? Maidana is a little bit of a dirty fighter, a little bit. He low blowed Mayweather. He he did some other things. Tony didn't take one damn point away, but it is what it is. Anyway.
Same thing with Eddie Cotton. Eddie Cotton had to take a point away from Tyson Fury, but did it stop Tyson Fury from doing it? No. Tyson Fury just, okay, thank you, got me my warning, goes right on the head.
So you're telling me that Tyson Fury is cheating this damn much in every fight, and he doesn't have one disqualification in his career? Interesting. What referees is he paying off? That's what I want to know.
And funny enough, he actually treats the referee and the referee's judgment kind of like he treated like what he said about Vladimir Klitschko. He's like, well, Vladimir Klitschko headbutted me. I looked at the ref. He didn't do anything. So I guess maybe you now know that that's what you're doing to other people, that you just look at the ref and say, yeah, I won't headbutt, and went right back to doing the same thing. Look, for Tyson Fury to say,
once again, isn't this so interesting that Tyson Fury was never a dirty fighter until their favorite fighter got their ass kicked? Isn't this interesting, ladies and gentlemen? That always happens when someone's favorite fighter gets their ass kicked. All of a sudden, they're just this dirty fighter, or there's this overrated hype job or something like that. That happens with a lot of fighters. But it is what it is.
That he wasn't responsible for the water thing that's been accused of Deontay Wilder. Okay, that's one. Even though he has not denied it. He's just ridiculed it. He's never denied it. However,
that's right. He's not denied it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's proof right there that Tyson Fury is guilty, according to these morons. Anyway,
if you want to deny that, okay, deny that. All right, if you want to deny his glove not being on his hand, which quite honestly, you guys are just absolutely ridiculous if you try to act like that glove was on his hand. Like, it's just...
It was, and you know what? Go ahead and check out, he's talking about bringing up a channel. We're actually going to take a look at a channel after this. Maybe, maybe not. Well, I don't know if we'll have time. We'll see. Maybe. But there's this one channel called Phoenix Compilations. Phoenix as in Phoenix, Arizona. And go ahead and take a look at a couple of the videos that he has. He has a video showing that Tyson Fury's hand is inside the glove, because you can see his fingers and his hand clinch inside the glove throughout multiple rounds, like several of the rounds. So it is what it is. Go ahead and check that out if you don't believe me. I'll post a link down below if I can in the description box, because they don't have any footage whatsoever of any glove looking floppy in the rematch. So you would only have to allege that happened in the first match, and when it comes down to the overall, there's already been proof against that. So it is what it is, and I'll post a link in the description box below.
Absolutely obvious that his glove is not in that hand, right? That his hand is in the middle part of that glove. Despite all of the debunked videos and all the talk that was going around in the early part of the year, people ain't doing that anymore because, dude, it's been shown by like 40, 50 different...
They're not doing it anymore because there's no reason to talk about it anymore. Once you debunk it once, what overall is the point of talking about it anymore? These guys keep going around with this bullshit because overall, once again, I don't even think half of these guys believe the shit that they're saying. Now, this guy, I do believe, believes it. Like Deontay Wilder, for example, he does not believe the shit that is coming out of his mouth. I'm telling you, but it is what it is.
Angles, man. The guy's glove was not in his hand, and more than likely, Jack Reese knew. More than likely. I mean, I would assume he had...
Yes, that's right. Jack Reese was also in on the plot. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not forget, Jack Reese apparently let Tyson Fury get up from an over 10 count. There was a long count. These guys really have no idea what the hell they're talking about, man. Dealing with these Deontay Wilder fans is like dealing with a how do I even explain it? With a pail of rocks. These guys had peanuts rattling around in their goddamn heads, man. Peanuts up there. I mean, dear fucking Christ.
Had to know, considering he never put his hands on Tyson Fury's gloves during that fight, that he might have known as well. But All of that stuff, you can say, well,
And let's not forget, Kenny Bayless must also be on it, in on it as well, because apparently there was something wrong with Tyson Fury's gloves also in the second fight. So let's not forget. So the point overall isn't really that Jack Reese overall, since he's a Caucasian man, the point or the problem is not really that Tyson Fury, apparently what you're alleging, what you have to be alleging, if you're alleging that he cheated in both fights. The problem is that Tyson Fury is paying off referees then. That's what you have to be alleging. Not that Jack Reese was in on it or that just Kenny Bayless was in on it. You have to allege that he's been paying off referees for his whole entire career. That's what you have to be alleging, really.
that's Deontay Wilder making excuses. That's Deontay Wilder with Deontay Wilder's excuses. But man, Tyson Fury, you does protest too much. For you to say that you have never done anything worse than a headbutt? Because look, he said that somebody headbutted him once. And that's the experience of something that he's seen. And he puts it on Vladimir Klitschko. As if he doesn't, the man will lie with a straight face. But I'm telling you, go look at the video, because when you look at the video, you will know exactly what it looks like when Tyson Fury lies. Because sometimes, dude, you gotta just admit it, okay? I mean, admit something. Now, for Andre Ward, for example,
now this video is supposed to be about Tyson Fury. Now, what is the title of this video? Shaking my head. Tyson Fury denies cheating, never did anything that bad, admits. Okay, so that's what the title is. What this dude at the beginning of the video overall said is that, well, this is going to prove 100% that Tyson Fury cheated. I'm not seeing one shred of evidence in this. And this is the problem. They say that they have all this evidence. There's no evidence to see. They have no evidence whatsoever. All it is these over-emotional Deontay Wilder fanboys or these over-emotional pro-racial, pro-blacks. It is what it is.
Somebody said, hey, Andre, have you ever hit somebody low, or have you ever made an illegal move before? I am pretty sure Andre Ward would say, yes, I have. And I have.
Yeah, I'm sure he would certainly say that. You ask Andre Ward today if he hit Sergey Kovalev low. He's going to say no. Just stop that shit. All right, now personally, do I think that he hit him low? I think it was a little bit low. You could maybe not call it a low blow, but to me, it was a bit low. But not like a Zab Judah low blow to like Floyd Mayweather or anything, or, anything like that. But
when somebody did it with me, because that's how you stop people from doing it. Yeah, if the guy's hitting me low and the ref's not doing anything about it, I'm going to hit him. So he stops it. But see, that would be an honest answer from Andre Ward. And you might actually, when you get that honest answer, or that type of answer, it might actually lead you to believe that he might tell you the truth in something else, right? Because, yeah, Andre told me the truth about that. He didn't have to tell me that he did that, but we all saw him do it. But at least he admits it. He had fessed up and then tells us why it is that he does it, right? But did Tyson Fury do that? Oh, no. Tyson Fury just denies the whole thing. Tyson Fury just sits there like we don't see you. Like we didn't see the Christian Hamer fight, man. You got in the ring with your thumb detached, dude. Hey.
I'm glad that this dude actually brought that up, because that's actually not what the problem was. And that's how you know a certain amount of these people do not actually believe what they're saying, because a certain amount of these people are not putting in context. For those of us that actually know what we're talking about overall and that have actually put on a pair of boxing gloves before, when you put on a pair of certain boxing gloves, sometimes there is a strap that connects your thumb to the rest of the hand, to the rest of the fingers, to the rest of your four fingers that are in the other part of the glove. That part, that strap, was separated on the glove. That's what the problem was, and that's what the commentating team said as well. But these guys tried to play it off as in, dude, your thumb wasn't even in the glove. All these stupid asses. Go ahead and check it out. That's what the commentary team says. But they're trying to play it off as, oh, he's been doing this for his whole entire career. These guys are so full of it, man.
And also, the worst thing that you've done to cheat somebody? Dude, how about testing positive or getting in there under the influence of performance-enhancing drugs? How about...
And that's very possible. That is very possible. That is the one little mark on Tyson Fury's career. That is something that is possible. But the problem is that if you're talking about the Deontay Wilder fight or the Vladimir Klitschko fight, he was never caught on steroids for those fights. Now, we can sit here and allege overall that he was on steroids for those fights. Well, come on. boxing fan, you don't actually believe, that he wasn't on steroids, do you? Well, I have to see overall what the tests say. I have to go by what the tests say. I can allege that you're on steroids all the damn day. When I take a look at Anthony Joshua's physique, I think that dude is on something. But I can't sit here and allege overall that he is, because there's really no ethical proof of that. Like Canelo Alvarez at one point in time took steroids for, the second Golovkin fight. Do I believe that he's most likely taking steroids? Yes, but I can't say overall that he did, especially for the second fight, because he tested negative. There was no positive test for the second one. So it is what it is. Anyway.
That. How about that? Is that one of the things? Is that considered cheating? It's just dude. Tyson Fury at this point in time, everybody knows that dude cheated, okay? And again, the first question that was asked of him by the guy that's selling this product. I don't want to say pushing the product, but the guys that are selling the product, the first thing that they've said to this guy was, "What is the worst thing that you've done in a ring?" Which means everybody knows, man, you are not, if your product placement guys are asking you these questions, that's telling you that that's what everybody wants to know. Their product cannot deny it. They can't be like, look, we can't sell this we can't sell this by asking you what's the best thing that, who's your best 5 fighters? Because, the top 5 pound for pound fighters in boxing, they won't answer that. People don't care about that. People want to know, hey, man, how did you skim those gloves against Deontay Wilder? Like, can I do that? Where do I get custom-made gloves? Because the only people that are going to be big fans of Tyson Fury right now are really people that love the dirty side of boxing. And I like the dirty side of boxing. I mean, I like the roughhousing, but to the extent that Tyson Fury does it, at 6'9", 300 pounds, fighting guys that he's outweighing by 100 pounds, hanging on.
And all of a sudden, that's an excuse as well. No one gives a shit that Tyson Fury weighed more than Deontay Wilder. That's not an excuse. And the reason why that's not an excuse is because Deontay Wilder is a heavyweight. He has one-shot knockout power. You never heard anyone say, well, Tyson Fury outweighed Deontay Wilder before the fight. You know why you're hearing it after the fight? Because they're butthurt that that their favorite fighter lost. That their pro-black, a.k.a. Black Panther King, Deontay Wilder lost. That's all it is.
Their necks and wrenching their necks and doing all kind of coming up with skin gloves, dog, that's going to wind up really, really hurting somebody. And I just don't think, Tyson, that you should do that. But anyway, man, I am happy to know that your name is ubiquitous, is synonymous, not ubiquitous. Your name is synonymous with cheating. And the idea that you cheated is ubiquitous amongst boxing fans.
Well, only certain boxing fans. But anyway, that's really about it for this video. I just thought that I would get his opinion in there. To show you that a lot of these ramblings that they say are evidence are not really evidence. They're just emotional ramblings. So it is what it is. And that's all this was. Anyway, that's really about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If y'all like the channel, give the video a thumbs up and also subscribe. That would help me out a lot. Thank you all also to my most recent subscribers. That helps me out a lot. And that's really about it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to y'all later.